All right, let's talk about Ramadan. It's that time for fasting, for deep reflection, and for really trying to disconnect from all the worldly stuff. But in the world we live in today, there's one temptation that doesn't just disappear when the sun goes down. Get this. TGM research found that a massive 81% of Muslims are on their mobile devices during Ramadan. And social media use, it's actually at its peak. Now, that creates this really interesting conflict, right? Between the whole point of the holy month and, well, our modern habits. So that leads us to the big question we're tackling today. If Ramadan is all about abstinence and self-control, why are we seeing more and more people fasting from their phones? Okay, so to really get this, we've got to remember something crucial. Fasting in Ramadan, it's about so much more than just not eating or drinking. It's about a complete and total purification of yourself. Yeah, it's this whole body, whole mind kind of thing. It's about restraining your hands, your words, and even your thoughts. And that applies to everything. From gossip in real life to, you guessed it, harmful stuff online, like spreading negativity or cyberbullying. And there's this really powerful saying from the Prophet Muhammad that just hits home. He said, "Many people who fast get nothing from their fast except hunger and thirst." Wow. I mean, think about that. It tells you that the fast can be spiritually meaningless if you're still engaging in harmful speech or actions. Scholars basically say, what's the point of being hungry and thirsty all day if you're just going to blow all the blessings with how you act online? This all connects to this beautiful Islamic concept called ihsan. It's this idea of taking your faith to the next level, acting like you can literally see God because you know that even if you can't, He absolutely sees you. It creates this profound sense of self-awareness, a kind of social responsibility. It's a reminder that everything, even our likes, our shares, our comments, it's all seen and recorded. But here's the thing. This amazing spiritual goal of self-awareness, it runs smack into a very, very modern problem, the mindless scroll. Now hold on. We're not saying social media is all bad. Not at all. During Ramadan, it can actually be an incredible tool. I mean, look at this data. People are using it to learn new things, connect with family, and join online communities. So many people find really valuable Islamic content and reminders online, which is great. But there's always a but, right? There's a flip side. Research from places like Johns Hopkins shows the pretty heavy mental cost of too much screen time. We're talking links to anxiety, terrible sleep, and that endless, unhealthy social comparison game. And during Ramadan, man, that can just completely wreck the focus you need for any kind of meaningful worship. So why is it so hard to just put the phone down? Well, it's literally brain chemistry. Every single like, every notification, every little video gives you a hit of dopamine. It creates this reward loop that can lead to what some experts are calling digital addiction. And that biological pull for quick, shallow reward is the total opposite of ihsan, that deep self-awareness we talked about, which needs focus and intention, not constant distraction. Honestly, it can make our fingers even more restless than our stomachs. And this is exactly where the idea of a digital fast comes into play. Look, it's not about throwing your phone in the trash and rejecting technology. It's about using it with intention instead of mindlessly. It's making a conscious choice to line up your habits with your spiritual goals. Think of it like this. The physical fast trains your body and builds that self-discipline, right? Well, a digital fast does the exact same thing, but for your mind and your soul. It's all about teaming that constant impulse to check your phone and building the kind of focus that Ramadan is supposed to be about. So, okay, how do you actually do this? Well, the advice from experts at Johns Hopkins is super practical. First, set clear boundaries. Maybe no phones during iftar or suhoor. Simple. Second, remove the temptation. Just delete those social media apps for the month. Third, create systems for yourself. Use those built-in screen time limits on your phone. And this last one is key. You have to replace the scrolling. Plan for meaningful alternatives, like reading Quran, spending quality time with family, or just having some quiet reflection. And for anyone who actually takes on this challenge, the change can be huge. We're talking about reclaiming your time, your focus, and your sense of inner peace. So what do you get out of it? The payoff is real. The research points to some very tangible benefits. You sleep better, you've got lower stress and anxiety, your focus improves, and your real-life relationships get stronger. Plus, you get all this free time back and this incredible sense of accomplishment. But hey, don't just take our word for it, or the researchers' word for it. Let's listen to people who have actually gone through this. Here's a user from Reddit who says, I actually deleted my social media apps over a year ago, and it feels amazing. Attention span grows, more free time to find new hobbies, more mental clarity.
It really sounds like it makes the world feel more manageable.
Here's another one that's super honest. This person talks about that initial struggle. They said some glitch made their reels disappear, and it felt off the first few days. But then, they say, gradually as time has passed, I feel free. I feel more productive. That really shows you gotta push through that initial discomfort.
And finally, this last one, this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. This person says, I deleted it like 3-4 months ago, literally one of the best feelings in the world. Life feels more real now. It feels more normal, more proper. Wow, life feels more real. That's a direct hit on that weird, distorted sense of reality we can get from living through a screen. At the end of the day, it's really all about creating space. When you turn down the volume on all that digital noise, you're making room for what actually matters. For reflection, for family, for prayer, for the kind of deep spiritual growth that Ramadan is all about. So that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. In a world that is constantly fighting for your attention, what could you get back? What could you reclaim by disconnecting just for a little while to reconnect with what truly matters?